go ahead and put it by the concession door, please. Thank you, sir. All right, Moto's going to pull off on the backside. 1.5 laps to go. .230 passing 120 up to turn 2. Can't quite get around, a little old man power. And over the top comes the Piedmont rider. 282, getting close to upgrade time. Next up, we should have our B minor final for the Kieran, 5-lap Kieran. Paced for 3.5 laps, and then the riders are free for 1.5. Riders must stay in order for at least the first lap before they can come around. Uh-oh, looks like we're going in reverse order. Looks like this is the B major final. So these riders should have been top 3 in the 2 heats, qualifying 6 spots for the major final. Most times we run it in reverse order where we do the minor final first, then the major. Okay. El Presidente Pete said announcing is more important than music. And Moto is moving on the backside. Mr. Bill Thompson with his Derny. One of the few velodromes in the country that has a Derny available to pace. The harder Bill pedals, the faster the Derny goes. And if we get the official out of the way, it would help the Moto come through. And there we go. Riders are supposed to stay in order behind the motor for at least the first lap. Rider 65, Mike Tharp, required to take the moto. And he is not allowed to back off the moto unless another rider overtakes him and wants it. They must stay in order for at least the first lap. Holders, if we can clear the apron, please. Sounds like the Derny's going a little bit faster this time than last heat. It's going to be a pretty tight race if they stay in this order. Rider 145, Jonathan, has been having a good season. On the very back, we got Old Man Power, number 36, John Tomlinson. Got those fresh set of wheels he purchased from Bill Thompson. It's giving him the extra speed. It's nice, also nice having the dirty down for the fumes. Helps clear away some of the flies and other mosquitoes. And with 2 to go, we should be seeing the moto come off on the backside. 65, close to a violation there, coming a little too far off. No one really wants to take it, though. And they're all stacked up, coming into the last lap. Looks like Max Osterreich going to try to take the bottom line. Pull a Chris Hoy. Tomlinson leading out. Michael Tharp, 65. Looks like Piedmont trying to come over the top. All the kids look identical to me in Piedmont, so I'll refrain from mispronouncing their names. Good thing we got a finish line camera going tonight. Nice finish, 145 with the win. Unofficially until Jason Jones confirms. And I believe now we'll have our B minor. So these are the folks that didn't score in the top 3 of their heat. We still like to do Kieran's for minors also, so people get used to the format. Not every velodrome in the country runs their C's through a Kieran program. Nice, isn't it? Just 2. We're going to ask 2 people to not do it. Oh, this one. Good. You need gas? Looks like those instructions are coming a little bit more quickly from Gary Morgan. And both people on the live stream right now. We just put it on the iPad. I thought I saw 2 when And official Gary Morgan giving final instructions. All the heats will be the same. They need to stay in order behind the moto. We don't usually do a draw here at the DLV on Wednesday nights. We just don't have time for it. So we do the seating preliminarily by barman rules. Otherwise, we'd be here till 10 o'clock, and then Oz would be even more upset with us for staying late. And moto coming out of turn 4. A little bit slower than last time. 5-lap Kieran. Moto on the track. First 3.5. Riders alone. Last lap and a half. And riders need to stay in the order in which they started, or at least the first lap. Yeah, and Bill Thompson coming through, showing 4 to go, 4 laps to go. Riders doing a good job of staying in order. Journey not going quite as fast as it did in the last heat. I have a horrible time driving the Journey. Sometimes I'll stall it out on the backside. That's why I got it. And coming out of turn 4 with 3 laps to go, they'd stay in order. No one's decided to try to dice it up tonight. I know Kim Cantrell isn't going to stay in the back too long. Not sure if Kim is a student or a supporter or coach. And Dirty going a little bit faster. Showing 2 to go, so the motor will come off on the backside this time, and the riders are free to go. Kim Cantrell trying to make a little move on the outside. And Kim coming over the top. Michael Gibson increasing the pace, keeping the riders behind him. Looks like it's a nice field. Some of the back markers trying to move up. Riders holding their position. Scat Atlanta rider Judah. Looks like she's holding on to the wheel. And coming out of the home strap, Michael Gibson, 43, still holding on. Stacking up pretty nicely. Kim Cantrell with nowhere to go has got to back off. And Judah with the win, 274. Over 43, 2. And we should be doing our A minor. So I told Bill, right? Jebediah O'Donnell over here having a hard time getting the Kieran together. Okay, we're going to do two minors and then a major. No. And we're going to do the Kieran major first. 6 riders. We did 3 heats, so 2 riders qualified out of each heat. Looks like we have 2 Piedmont riders. 1 Wild Boys. Oh, 2 Wild Boys. Cookie Monster on top. 1 East Point Track Club. Dennis Decker's coming down from the top row to the hold. Dennis is coming in. Another one. One more holder, please. And rider 43 setting that really nice bike in the grass. Unknown distance soon. Sir. It'll cost you 1 volunteer point. And the moto will start. Rider instructions is finished. Chief referee tonight, Gary Morgan. We can make our own rules. Full volunteer organization this year. Only the Youth Cycling League coaches are paid. It's nice to have enough help. People know that Coach Barman gets a little grumpy if he has to officiate too much, so they come out. And races started. They must stay in order where they started, and they'll see 4 to go when they come through. Looks like everyone got in order eventually. Journey starting off a little slow. You can hear that two-stroke engine warming up. Usually we try to run the A heats a little bit faster than we run the Bs, and the Bs a little bit faster than we run the Cs. Kim Cantrell over here retelling his story. And Cantrell's arms just waving around. 3 laps to go as the riders come through. 2 Piedmont, 2 Wild Boys, and 2 East Point Track Club. No collusion allowed on the track. Teammates aren't supposed to work for each other. Coming through with 2 to go. Moto should come off on the backside. Looks like we got a Piedmont rider trying to move up a little bit early. Make it a little bit easier to just come around 3 or 4 people instead of all 6. Uh-oh. Great danger blade. Over the top, Cookie Monster himself, number 32. More nicknames than you know what to do with. Coming through with 1 to go. Piedmont's having a hard time dealing with it. Up, close that gap down. Cookie Monster out front still. Looks like Piedmont's holding off. A little stand up. A little come around move. Double barrel Daryl on the outside, number 90. Looking pretty smooth. Man, didn't even have to work hard to get through the finish line. Double barrel Daryl, number 90. And we've got 2 minor finals. Give the athletes an opportunity to race. Team Wild Boys with the W tonight. Oh yeah. Cookie Monster just couldn't hold on.
I could have told you that.
Yes, sir.
Right there.
You frown upon. Although it does make announcing go a whole lot better. It's hard to imagine me getting much louder, but it does happen. You can ask Jason Jones. Jason K. Jones. Couple years ago, we heard there's an accident with Jason Jones in Alabama, and everyone called their favorite Jason Jones to make sure they were okay.
I have died before.
Would you all just leave me alone? I'm fine.
Everything's good. Everybody's worried. Maggie Sweeney's freaking setting up. Got hits and stuff.
GoFundMe's already started. Haven't even talked to you yet. Chief Referee Morgan giving instructions. Sneaky Pete waiting for that unknown. He's been just warming up a little bit, just trying to get the legs, keep the legs loose, walking up and down the official stand. Results are caught up. Live streams running. 2 officials, an announcer, and a lap counter. We're doing good tonight. And my points. Harmon, you can't live off volunteer points for a whole season. Just trying to stay on the first row. First row. Yeah, I'm just a little bit off the first row. Moto coming through. Little sideways action. Looks like there's a couple of different gearing choices going on in that field. Some guys not having any problem getting up to speed. Other guys are. Usually we think of our A fields as a Pro 1-2 and some 3s that are on their way up to becoming a 2. Usually our Bs are usually a kind of a Cat 3 or possibly Cat 4, and then our Cat Cs are beginner riders, Cat 4 or Cat 5. Dick Lane Velodrome is an ATRA track. So under the ATRA rules, we try to follow the USAC rules as closely as possible. Trying to honor the USAC upgrade policy, which always comes into question each year about this time. Journey's moving pretty good. It's going to be hard to come from the back. Willem Kaiser, number 188 on the back. In a kind of a smallish gear, looks like. It's like 136 might have the largest gear on there. 2 laps to go. We should see the moto fall off on the backside. Then riders will be on their own for racing. And we'll get the bell around next time. Up over the top. Piedmont rider. Nice move. Oh, Piedmont back. Nice little group coming over. It's like full speed. Number 14, Dylan Cantrell on the front. I believe that's 129 in second, 188 in third. Looks like 14 is going to have a pretty easy round. 129 trying to hold off right on that yellow line. A lot of Piedmont in that heat. A lot of Piedmont. And our last, Kieran Minor. Minor B, Minor A. Most times you run the major final last. But, oh, that doesn't look good. He might have been running his own cable on. Oh, is that what got at him? He's going to be pissed. Last one, BT. Last one, sorry. Gary switched it up on me.
You can't pick out their numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a blur.
About, like, I think it's about 28 or 29 miles an hour is the...
It gets real blurry real fast.
Well, I think it's also the light. I wonder if we could, I wonder if I move that light over and
We'll be all right. There's only 5 of them.
And our last instructions from Chief Referee Morgan. Another heat of 5. Unfortunately, we weren't blessed with the Freeman and Freeman heat. We split the Freemans between the 2 heats. Looks like rider 150, Ian Poor. Piedmont rider. And then we got rider 41, Jorge. Rider 4, Andy Bailey, the generous sponsor of Wednesday nights. Andy Bailey Remax. Everyone should get real estated. And Aaron Freeman's absolute favorite night coming out. Moto is rolling. This is a tough heat to call. I think Jorge's been looking pretty good, but Piedmont gets more cheers than anyone else. Oh, Jorge moving up. Originally one of our youth cycling league riders, possibly coaching, coming up soon. And looks like he's got a Georgia State kit. So should be racing collegiately. We do have collegiate racing coming up Labor Day weekend on a Monday. If you have any friends that do road racing, we do a one-day certification. It's the only time Pete Antonovich allows me to do a one-day certification for folks. If you've done 5 criteriums in the last 2 years. We usually start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and if you finish up the racing, you become categorized D, so you can do our beginner Tuesday night races. After 5 of those, then you can move up to Wednesday night racing in the C's and work your way all the way up to the A's. Bill's running that dirty extra hard. He must have dinner done at home and need to get out of here. Chief referee Morgan threw an extra heat at him. He was hoping to be in the Toyota truck, already gone.
He went like this.
Coming through on the backside, they'll see 2 to go. Oh, that moto is kicking. You heard it dial in. He's going to drop him off at 32, 33 miles an hour. First rider, number 150, should have the best chance. Faster the moto's going, the easier it is to be at the front. Harder it is to come around. Never discount the seat sneakiness of rider 4, Andy Bailey, that's about to pinch down. And they'll be coming through with 1 to go. Piedmont rider coming through, wants those points. Andy Bailey coming around, got him on the backside, got him dialed in. Andy Bailey's really wanting this one. Jorge and the Georgia State stuff gonna try to sneak through. Andy didn't open it up. Jorge on the top. Looks like rider 4, Andy Bailey with the minor win. Piedmont on the bottom in second. Jorge got 41 on top in third. Minor. B minor. Yeah, got 4th. C riders to the boards, please, for unknown. Big smile on rider 4, Andy Bailey's face. He doesn't get many W's these days, so he needs to. All those points were in the major final, so you can be sure Andy Bailey checks the Rider of the Year points every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Sometimes I can't even get through pizza. C Riders, last call. C Riders. Six or 7. C Rider, do we have the 7th rider out there? There we go. Zach Stewart's coming up. 109. Chief referee Mark Ostrike coming up to coach up his athletes. Chief Referee Morgan giving instructions. 7C riders tonight in the unknown. Jason Jones is picking the number. Sometimes when you officiate, you wait to see how they're racing to decide what lap numbers it's going to be. Sometimes you pick a number early. Sometimes the lap bell ringer accidentally rings the bell if you give them a 20. What time is it? Unknown distance. Usually as you move up in category, everyone will take half lap pulls. If you race with John Dowd officiating, he only does prime numbers. So you have all the even laps off. Fibonacci numbers. Usually it'll be an 11, a 13, a 17, a 19, a 21, a 23, and then everyone just gets upset at him. Those are usually the numbers. Usually he'll lose count. No, but that's a John Dowd number. Pace going pretty well here in the C's. Sharing the work. Is there a 0 in there still? You want to do bell? Okay. Pete's giving me the stank eye. Thinking I might have had a adult beverage instead of the Coke Zero that I currently have in my hand. Never underestimate barman, though.
What lap is this for?
Uh-oh, Georgia State, Jorge Hernandez looks like he's leaving. Homework. I thought the reason you went to Georgia State was so you didn't have to do homework. See Jorge. Good having Jorge out. I haven't seen him a whole lot this season. One of our youth cycling graduates that went to junior track nationals and now finds himself on Georgia State. Mentored by Andrew Hodges, now the president and team manager of Georgia State, transferring over from Georgia Tech. SCAD Atlanta, coached by Georgia Tech graduate, also switching sides all here in the all in town. Coach Kumar, making sure Willem gets his miles in. Oh, there's the bell. Here we go. Unknown distance. 159 with a little chop down on 120. They're dialing in. Piedmont Riders got the lead. 120 looks like he's in a smaller gear. 159, Lehman Wright coming around the outside. This is going to be close. And 120 with a little stand-up up the home stretch. Usually as you move up in category, you don't usually stand up for the sprint. Usually trackies sit down to accelerate, not stand up. Unless you're the double barrel Daryl, where he got the nickname from. And we'll let our C riders get off the track safely before our B riders go up. I believe Lehman on Sprint Nights is down in the 12.4, 12.5 range. So definitely got to turn his speed. Sometimes we don't see him in every race in the evening, but he's been working on it. And we'll call our B riders up to the boards. B's to the boards, please. Good mix of riders in the B's tonight. Some of our master riders that raced last night. Some of our youth cycling riders on their way up. Our women's rider of the year, rider 2, Annalise Ostrike. And rider 145, Jonathan, who unfortunately a different rider had his number last year, so I have to double check results every time to make sure he's not named something else. Oh, Pistol Pete coming out for the unknown. He's been saving the legs all night. 65, Mike Tharp. We'll see how many laps he does. Rudy Kiefer, rider 3. Also saving it up. It would actually probably finish.
Unknown distance.
I didn't want to put it near your computer. All right, rider instructions from Chief Referee Morgan. Here at the DLV, sometimes we do what we call a short start in turns 1 and 2 to keep the racing going. Tonight we'll actually end up with 4 races in the books for folks. Call it Gladiator Night. Shorter events. Looks like we got a flyer already. Probably a Piedmont rider. Looks like 185 Max Ostrike, not wanting to let that go. And everyone deciding if they're... Everyone trying to decide whether they're going to chase or not. And 185 Max Ostrike, 277. Looks like they're exchanging pulls. A larger group forming behind them, not wanting to give up too much space. Working well together. Rider 43 and 62 also joining that group. Some people moving forward, some people moving backwards. Rider 000, Pete Antonovich, president of the East Point Velodrome Association. Looks like 185 and 277 getting a little tired out. Looks like it's going to come back together. Oh. Looks like they're speeding up again. Oh, 185, not wanting to take a turn. Here at the DLV, we have to be super careful about following riders up and make sure we're below the rider we're following. At only 7 meters wide, there isn't a whole lot of room. Lead group of 6 riders with a couple of folks caught in between. They don't know when we're going to ring the bell. Most times I kind of give it a guess. Most times you can also tell how long we're going to go because we try to finish up at 9 p.m. Jason Jones gets grumpy if he's in the official tower past 9 p.m. Jason can be a little grumpy, especially when it's hot out. 277 looking like he's not wanting to get out of the top 3 or 4 riders. Georgia Tech rider Jake Smith coming through. Looks like he's going to take a little flyer. .277 not afraid to work. Go ahead and pulling all 4 of those other guys back together. Georgia Tech looks like was feeling the bell coming, but didn't happen. And rider number 3, Rudy Kiefer, looks like he's working his way into the field. I know they don't want him in there. Rudy's won quite a few B races already this year. Kind of worked his way through the field. Nice group trying to decide what kind of pacing to give. And rider 43, Michael Gibson, also looking like he's going to get the back part of the group. Oh, Georgia Tech deciding, not wanting any extra riders, feeling like the bell's coming. Hasn't happened yet. Coming together, looks like they're keeping the pressure on the front. Little chit-chat going on about how it's going to work. 3 riders working rather well together. There it is. Bell, 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 bell. Racing is on. Racing is on. Make sure you go over the top of the riders, please. Riders, stay in the lane. Stay in the lane. All riders, stay in the lane. 277 had this race by the scruff of the neck. Looks like he's going to take it. Trying to get that B upgrade. Looks like 277, 163. Judah from Scat Atlanta. Then Rudy Kiefer, 336, 185. Tell Rudy we're done. Someone answer him, please. Rudy is a little hard of hearing. He has to pay attention to lap cards. B's taking a pro lap tonight. Let's bring our A riders to the board, please. A riders to the boards. .277, you're welcome to race again. Come on, man. Do it. Dude, you're on Jonas's bike. You might as well race it again. Jonas wouldn't let an opportunity pass. Got a little coaching up. We're going to invite 277 back up to the boards. Slim got the A invite tonight. Jake, if you want to go, you can come to the boards also. $36, you can go to the boards if you want to ride again. Judah, you can go again if you like. The responses are interesting. Some nights we've been running feature races, which usually have as a combined category. Usually before you become an A, usually you get invited up to an A-B style of race. See how you like it.
Known distance. Around till it ends. Lap to go. How many laps you guys want to do?
Just to let you guys know, it is 8:52.
We're gonna race an hour and Andy is. I will do it. I'm gonna give you guys.
Full lap neutral for everyone. Chief Referee Morgan giving instructions, rather large field. Usually the A's do a great job of doing half lap pulls, work your way through. Most of them have a pretty good idea probably how long this race is going to be. Even though it is Gladiator night, we try to give some racing for endurance athletes to have an opportunity to get some miles in. Nothing more frustrating than coming to the Velodrome and leaving with 8 miles in your legs. Jason Jones knows he doesn't have an opportunity to win points, so he's going to volunteer to get his points.
Guaranteed for.
Nice and strung out towards the bottom. Looks like a Piedmont rider taking off. Some of the younger guys not wanting to give up the move. Usually when you're racing, you kind of have a number in your head of how many people you're going to let go up the road. Once you go over that number, then usually you'll chase it down. With the large prize list we have here tonight of Rider of the Year points. We're all just here racing for the fun of it. And 188 and 150 keeping it moving. Eric Aller, 129, closing that one down. Wanting to get some fitness in. Maybe feeling like it might be a 5 or a 6 lap race. Here at night, it's kind of hard to see the which riders are coming through the turn. The glare. Little fireworks going on. Some of the Bs are holding on, trying to keep their lap, hoping the race might slow down a little bit, which it has. It's really important for the officials to kind of write down the numbers of the riders as they get lapped. So when we actually do a pretty good job of getting the whole field scored and placed. And usually we do have it on our website. Our results are at the www.dicklanevelodrome.com website. You go to the menu and you go to race, and then the results will be there. And then you click on the 2018 button. And usually we try to keep up with the racing throughout the night, so you can kind of get an idea, or if you're at home watching the live stream, you can keep that up. I know Jason Jones keeps about 3 computer screens open at all times when he's at home, so he doesn't miss anything. Speed picking up quite a bit. Usually on Wednesday nights, we go ahead and let the riders that want to stay in as long as they don't affect the outcome of the race.
There's a 165 number.
Sounds like a little festival going on downtown East Point tonight. That's all right, guys. Stay low, stay low, stay low. No exchange. Every track's a little bit different, but here we try to ask our riders to stay low at the bottom of the track if they're getting overtaken. Makes it safer for everyone because our track is so narrow. Sometimes if someone is overtaking another rider and you're up at the top of the track, there isn't room for everybody to go through, and a faster rider catching a slower rider up top is by far more dangerous than overtaking at the bottom of the track. And looks like our two Piedmont leaders. And we've got people all over the place. First two Piedmont riders looks like they have it pretty well under control, overtaking 28 and 4, Aaron Freeman and Andy Bailey. Team Wild Boys having a hard time bringing this one back. I guess Cookie Monster doesn't like Piedmont cookies. And we've got our leaders coming through now, our two Piedmont riders, and then we have our next group on the track would be the next three, 32, 150, and 14. Chad Conley, rider 32, Brick Dangerblade. Cookie Monster, bridging across. Looks like we've got riders all over the track now trying to decide what they're going to do. Here come our leaders through the front. Brick Dangerblade has closed that down, rider 32. So 3 leaders now, followed by 4th and 5th place, 150 and 14, 188 and 6th. Rider 1, our past 3-season rider of the year, having a hard time keeping that gap closed. Leaders coming through, maybe feeling like it's going to be the end of the race soon. Second group on the track, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Ian Poor, Dylan Cantrell, and Willem Kaiser. Willem decided he'd rather be up front. Dylan goes ahead and going to hang on. Oh, not quite. They've kind of disintegrated that second group. First group working well together, kind of sharing the pace, not necessarily overdoing it. Guys, all right? Everyone doing a good job staying where they are. Here come our leaders. Andy, Lachlan, and Chad. Looks like they're trying to decide how they're going to split up the work. Multiple groups on the track. Rider 1 caught out in no man's land. Leaders go through. Willem Kaiser trying to close that gap, kind of caught out. Ian Poor, 150. Dylan Cantrell, 14, trying to make it back to 188. Let this clean up a little bit. Our leaders overtaking a lapped group. Rider 1 trying to stay on the lead lap. Go ahead. There it is. Bell, 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 bell. 3 leaders coming in. Rider 32 had it sized up. It's going to be tough. Stay low on the track, please, riders. Stay low on the track, please, riders. Uncool. Brick danger. I don't know. I don't think Brick's got it. He doesn't want to get in that lane. He wants to make him go a long way around. Oh, 278. Lachlan over Brick Danger Blade. This one's going to be tough to officiate. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Check out the live stream if you want to watch. We've been working on it, getting ready for the pro race. We try to run it a few Wednesdays a month. YouTube channel, Dick Lane Velodrome. What? YouTube channel, Dick Lane Velodrome Live. You do have to click on the correct day to watch the video. If you just YouTube search Dick Lane Velodrome, you get a lot of different videos, including ones that people have posted from when they ride out here. So if you go to the YouTube channel, Dick Lane Velodrome Live, that'll get you to the latest edition of what we've recorded. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.